Brett James in what was the only title fight of the night. It's Walker's first defence of his Southern Area Welterweight title. Brett James, meanwhile, is a product of the Maloney Fight Factory, and both these men have sold a lot of tickets for this one. Commentary comes from Richie Woodall and Jim Neely.
Second down.
Well, the dear old York Hall here in Bethnal Green is threatening to boil over with excitement. Standing room only, a packed house, every single seat and every single standing area absolutely packed for what promises to be a cracking domestic contest. At stake, the Southern Area Welterweight title held by the man in the silver trunks from Sidcup and Bermondsey, David Kid Dynamite Walker. The challenger from Camden Town, another 26-year-old with an unbeaten record, and the black trunks is Brett James. Walker has been in with a slightly higher caliber of opponent, but James is a pretty tough character. He's got such a good chin, and what Walker is going for him is that little bit more experience, and having been an ABA champion, that little bit more class.
Yeah, I think so. Dave Walker's certainly boxed at this level far more than Brett James has, but nevertheless, James, he is a quality opponent. He's got some lovely boxing skills, and early on he's catching Walker with that jab, and this really is going to be a cracking contest. The crowd certainly are going to add to it as well, and it's going to be exciting stuff, Jim.
Well, they boxed in the same bill here in Bethnal Green in August. David Walker in a non-title fight, stopping the Central Area champion Rob Burton of Barnsley in 2 rounds. Neither title on the line, and on the very same bill, Walker outpointed the James, I should say, outpointed the Birmingham veteran Brian Coleman over 6 tough rounds, although he did put Coleman down. Good fast right hand from David Walker, and again, sometimes we've seen Walker lose concentration, but not tonight. He's really piling it on, and James has had to take a few good hard shots.
Yeah, a couple of times there, Walker got through with some 2 or 3 good right hands, and although James smiled and tried to, as if to say, well, that didn't hurt me, but nevertheless, they were good shots that got through, and that will encourage David Walker and his camp.
David Walker won his ABA title in 1998 when he was with the Fisher Club, and a member of that Fisher Club was one George Wadman, who's now in Brett James's corner, and has certainly been assisting in the preparation for this contest. So they've done their homework on Walker. Walker likes to be known as Kid Dynamite. Good right hand by Walker, good defense by him. Solid body shot by James. 20 seconds to go, the schedule, remember, for 10 rounds as opposed to British and Commonwealth and World and European world title distances, which are 12 rounds. Busy start by Walker.
Yeah, there certainly isn't a lot in this opening round, but I would just edge it to Walker. He's got through with the better quality shots. Certainly in the middle of the round, got through with 3 or 4 good right hands, and for me, just shaded the round there. That was the telling difference.
Broad grin from Brett James as he went back to his corner. David Walker will be pretty pleased with that. Rob McCracken straight in there with some water. This is the 26-year-old from Sidcup, Bermondsey. Just one little blemish, and that was a draw way back in September of last year against Sutton and Ashfield's David Kirk, and he would admit himself, David Walker, that was his poorest performance. Otherwise, it's been pretty useful. And across the ring, another 26-year-old Brett James. Fewer contests, 2 draws, both against the vastly experienced Carl Taylor, whom David Walker had beaten, but otherwise not a blemish on that record. 10 wins, 2 draws.
Seconds out. Round 2.
Well, if he can keep up the first round pace and the first round pressure for 9 more rounds, I tell you, this really will bring the Raptors down here in Bethnal Green. Right hand by James. The James corner feel that they reckon that Walker will come to try to win this area. If they're not Walker, and Walker's putting on the pressure. James grins yet again. Great work by David Walker. James in a little bit of trouble again. Well, he's smiling. I don't know what he's smiling about. Terrific barrage by Walker, but he's got to make it pay off.
Oh, that was a cracking shot, Jim. Out of all those punches there, that right hand at the end, that was the telling punch.
Well, this is Walker at his very, very best. He's been in and out in some of the contests, but here he's pulled out all the stops. 2 minutes to go in the second, and James has had a very broad grin all the way through on his face. Maybe that's just his gum shield's not fitting too well, but Walker is catching him. Dave Parrish is having a good look. There's a bit of blood coming from somewhere, and I think it's on the face of James. Good variation by Walker.
Yeah, this is excellent from Walker, but James has got to move. He's got to get some distance between him and Walker. He can't afford just to keep standing in front of his opponent here, because he's getting picked up, and he's cut now on the left eye.
Oh, that eye looks very bad. James looks over slightly despairingly to his corner. Everybody on their feet here in Bethnal Green, and Walker grins and winks at him. Well, they've been lining up for this one for quite some time. Oh, great response by James. He did catch Walker. Mick Hennessy on his feet, screaming at Walker to get back into his boxing, and he's done just that. James on the back foot. He's got to keep that left hand up.
Yeah, the problem James has got at the moment is his feet are so static. He's just standing in front of Walker. He's there to be hit, although he's doing okay at the moment. But Walker, for me, he's been finding the target, but it's been made easy for him because James has been very, very slow on his feet.
Well, between them, they've sold nearly 1,000 tickets here for this contest. Nasty looking left eye now for Brett James, but he's coming back as best he can. His face is really very badly reddened. Walker looking the more balanced and the more composed of the two. Right hand by James. Remember, he's not a very big puncher. He's only won one of his 10 victories inside the distance. But he's still there, and Walker nods as if to say, well done, you got me. What a terrific 3 minutes of boxing. Well, that round had everything but a knockdown, but the barrage of punching that Walker put together in the early stages of that round was unbelievable. We haven't seen anything like this, I think, Richie, since we watched a few weeks ago Oscar De La Hoya beat Fernando Vargas.
No, certainly haven't, but it was the very last punch of this sequence that, for me, did the damage and really rocked Brett James back. Look, you see he loses his footing here. That punch there, high on the temple, that was a damaging punch. That was a great shot.
And what about that left hand from Brett James? Walker took it flush on the chin.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say your hats off to James. He came back very well. The last 20 or 30 seconds, he came back into it. But for me, the round was dominated by David Walker.
Seconds out, round 3.
6 minutes of high drama, high athleticism, high skill, and oodles of courage so far. David Walker, the champion, is the first defense of the Central Area title. Delighted that the son of one of his very good friends, a little boy called Connor, one of his neighbours, brought the belt into the ring for him, and he's hoping that little Connor will take the belt out if he hasn't got it round his waist. Good work by James, feet planted firmly, having to go round the corner.
Yeah, that was better from James. Also just varied his work there and came across with the hook, and this is a little bit better from him now. Good work from James early on in this round.
They've got two common opponents, Carl Taylor, with whom James drew twice and Walker beat once, and Paul Denton, another former ABA champion, and they've both beaten him. Walker's recovered a bit. James caught his footing on one of the advertising triangles.
Well, that's better movement from James, especially if he can find a few landing blows as he's hitting and moving, but again getting caught. Good work from Walker.
James's defense has been very good indeed, and everybody knows that Brett James has a very, very good chin. Managed by Dean Powell, trained by Alan Smith and George Wadman. Midway through the third. What a very good match this is. Well, you get two fellas like this, Richie, giving their all. There's not a lot wrong with British boxing, certainly at this level.
No, there certainly isn't. Fantastic stuff. This is great advert for the game. Two very fit boxers in there, giving their all. A packed house. I mean, what more could you ask for? Excellent stuff. Great advert for the game.
Walker blinking with his right eye, and he's very badly reddened underneath both eyes. And James is coming into this a little bit more. The corner have done a simply splendid job closing that eye of Brett James. A little bit of trouble has broken out in the crowd, which I've got to say I'm very disappointed with. Away over to our right, something has broken out between two rival sets of fans. In the meantime, there's nothing separating these two in this round. James's eye is closing a little bit, but he's coming back, and he caught Walker, and Walker smiles again. Round the corner right from Brett James.
Yeah, this is a little bit better from James. He's got back into this contest. The first two rounds for me were clearly won by Walker, but in this round, Walker's just eased off the gas a little bit, and he's allowed Brett James to come back into this fight, and this is better from James.
Good finish by Walker. Might still be a fairly even round to keep James very much in touch. Walker definitely the favourite for this, but Dean Powell in the James corner feel that their man can outlast Walker and take it to him in the latter stages, and that will depend on whether or not that eye holds up. Well, another terrific round of boxing. Fast hands right at the start by James. Walker allowing his guard to be drawn down a little bit, but to be fair, Walker responded, and straight away going to work on that cut on the left eye of Brett James. In the Walker corner, as Rob McCracken gives advice and Spencer McCracken dispenses water and towels, Mick Williamson works, well, gently and almost lovingly with that nasty swelling, almost a graze underneath the left eye. Well, but she couldn't separate them
10 seconds.
in the third, but Walker 2 points ahead as we go into the fourth.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Dave Paris brings them together. These two welterweights very evenly matched, both 26, both weighing in at exactly 10 stone 6 and 3/4 pounds. Just a quarter of a pound underneath the welterweight limit. A lot of grease on the left eye of James, working Walker to the body.
Yeah, better again from James, mainly because he's just upped his work rate a little bit, and he's certainly matching Walker for work rate. And during that last round, he was a lot busier, up on his toes as he is now, and he looks a lot better when he's doing that. I mean, look at that, just slipped a punch there. Right, and this is much better from James. Good boxing.
Walker has to respond, and respond he does. But the opening 3/4 of a minute of this round going to Brett James. Lovely uppercut by James. Now, have we seen the best of Walker? Terrific stuff in the opening 2 rounds. James absorbed it and looked to be in trouble, especially in the second when he was badly cut.
Walker just gives me the impression, Jim, that he feels that he can take James's best punch. He certainly has that confidence and that look about him that, you know, he can step up at any time here. That's what it seems to me, how it looks to me anyway, that he feels that he can take James's best punch and he's going to come through that.
Lovely stiff jab by Walker. First to the punch. James with a crisp middle right hand. Better work by Walker. Good shot inside. Got James wobbling again. That was a very good shot. James in trouble. Looks at the referee. Walker piling on the pressure. A minute to go to the end of the fourth. And James in even more trouble than he was in the second. Dave Paris is having a good look at him. If Walker can just stay cool and pick his shots, he can end this. He said that's enough. Great right hand. Walker did it in style. He promised he would. James threatened in the third, but faded in the fourth. And Walker, when he had to, produced the quality shots, the class shots, the punishing shots, and the victorious shots. Dean Powell straight over, gentleman that he is, to Rob McCracken and says, well done. And Dave Walker goes over to Brett James. And look at that, the pair of them grinning from ear to ear. what a great challenger James was. And for as long as it lasted, Richie, you don't get much better than that in a British ring.
No, that was a tremendous contest. It really was. Nip and tuck. I always thought Walker just had the edge, and he finished off there with a cracking right hand that started it all off. There's that right hand, a chopping right hand to the guard, and really then it was just downhill for Brett James there. He just could not recover from that first cracking right hand.
It sliced down at the most remarkably acute angle, and then a couple of uppercuts, and Walker kept the pressure on all the way through. Dave Paris having a really good look, and what Walker did here, to his great credit, was he maintained his composure and he picked the shots, and a couple of uppercuts went in there, and Dave Paris was thinking, well, I'm not going to let this go. But the initial slicing right hand set the whole thing up for a terrific finish, and right through the guard by Walker, and Dave Paris said, it's home, James.
David, many congratulations. A lot of pressure on you, but you've come out on top.
Thank you very much, yeah. I was very confident with the fight. I knew I'd win the fight, but all the due respect to Brett James, he was tougher than what I thought. I boxed superb tonight. Thank you to Robert McCracken for the great training.
And we got an indication of what sort of fight it was going to be as early as the second round. There was the flurry of punches. Now look at this here. What do you make of this?
The speed's there, the accuracy's there, the power's there. I just, all the best to Brett James for the future. But I thought it won't go as far as the 4 rounds, to tell the truth. But he can take a good shot. I'd like to wish him all the best, Brett James. And now tell the truth, I'm a higher level than that, and I want to fight for the British Commonwealth title.